How y'all doing? It's Brother Daniel. I'm gonna get right to it. I want to talk about pills, right? I see that it's this new thing with the youth. They popping pills, they popping perks and Zans and all this other stuff, right? And while I never did perks and all the Zans and all that stuff, because um, back then, like when I was doing things that I was doing, that was probably like 2007, right? Eight, stuff like that, right? Six, 2005, right? Up to probably 2000 and maybe 11 when I really kind of like stopped. So um, I want to get straight to I used to pop ecstasy pills, right? Now, how did I start that? Well, first off, I was dealing with PTSD. I didn't even know what it was, right? All I know is that I had anxiety, right? I was dealing with um, my breathing, my heart rate. I was paranoid, right? And depression and stuff like that, right? And I didn't know that I was dealing with PTSD from traumatizing things that I went through as a child and stuff that I was dealing with during that time. And it was so much stuff, so much negativity going on in the environment that I was in, right? Where did I grow up? I grew up on 67 in Blackstone, Chicago, Illinois, right? Anybody from Chicago, they know. That's the east side, a couple blocks off of Stony. Very bad neighborhood. The Blackstones actually started in that neighborhood, right? Jeff Ford, Eugene Bull. Um, Now, dealing with that, I started smoking, but then somebody laced, like I was smoking with some Mexicans and I got some lace weed, like really like some Friday Chris Tucker stuff, like had me tweaking, right? Um, and every time I smoked weed after that, like I was paranoid, heart was racing, thinking people was after me, hearing voices. That's when I'm like, you know what? It's time to stop that. By the grace of the Most High, I'm still here because I know other people that was laced and they not doing too good. They mind is completely gone, right? So praise the Most High for that. Um, and then I stopped that, then I started drinking real heavy, right? Drinking every day. Me and my house and my friend's house that stayed across the street from me, Q, our house was the party house. Everybody, a lot of people on the block had came to my house and his house for parties. People from over there know this. People from surrounding areas. People from our hood and people from across Stony and some everywhere, right? Coming over to these parties and um, I was living that lifestyle and I was hanging with a female friend of mine. We were like on 79th somewhere, like she was from Far East. She was off 79th and like over there by Essex somewhere, Kingston, right? So we was somewhere over there, over South Shore Drive. I think one of them blocks off of South Shore Drive. I forgot which one. And it was like midnight. And by this time, I constantly kept hearing at the parties. My friend was DJing. I kept hearing "Is You Rolling" by Gucci. So I asked him like, "Yo, what's rolling?" Because I didn't know nothing about. I wasn't a Gucci man guy like that. I didn't listen to Gucci. I didn't listen to like D4L and all that stuff. A lot of my friends was listening to them guys, right? I like Ti. I was into the lyrical stuff, right? So I'm like, yo, what is rolling? They like, yo, it's pills, right? Papa Bean, Papa X pill. I'm like, oh, okay, I knew what X pills was. So by this time now, I'm hearing all the rappers talking about this stuff. I'm like what's this? Because I remember back then, anytime I heard about an X pill, people were spending, no lie, like 50, $60 a pill. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, now it's like now people buying it for like $10 a pill. So I'm like, what's the difference, right? So um, by this time, the influence, right, the music playing. Now all my friends is doing it, right? I'm the only one wasn't doing it, right? So now back to this day, that night we on the east side, like far east, right? South Shore, right? Um, she outside. My friend, one of her friends, she was my friend too. She outside at midnight with sunglasses. I'm like, yo, what's she on? They like, oh, she rolling. I'm like, man, you too? You She like, yeah, man, I'm feeling good and this and that. That breeze, the sun. And I'm like, all right, I want to do one tonight. They was like, oh, for real? I'm like, yeah. So they called up the guy. He came through. Boom. I think I took like a half of one or whatever, and it just started from there. Now I'm doing them every other day. Like out of a week, I'm doing it, 3, 4 days a week. I wasn't doing them every day, but 4 days a week doing that stuff is too much, right? And it changed me. I started losing weight. I started looking like, honestly, at the time we wasn't thinking like, yo, this is some hard stuff we doing. We looking at the crackheads on the block and the people that do dope and not knowing like we the same. Like we really like them. Like we ain't even thinking that though. So, I'm doing this stuff like crazy, and it's changing me. This is the darkest point in my life. Like I already had so much trauma and PTSD. Now this stuff, it just made things worse. It made me worse mentally. It made me like it made me so depressed where I had so much when I wasn't high off this stuff or I wasn't drinking, I had so much anxiety, right? The anxiety was on a whole nother level after this stuff. And I was on the block one day and we was getting ready to buy some pills or whatever. And it's crazy because um, everybody on the block, right? I think we about to go to like one of them clubs, Adriana's or Club Crush. One of them, we was going to all these different clubs. And it was a guy, his name was, I forgot the brother name, man. He ended up passing away that next day. He ended up selling us all this stuff. He was from somewhere like off Minerva somewhere. And I forgot the brother name, Showtime or something like that, right? He ended up dying the next day. And they was out there, they was like, hey, one of the guys was like, man, I just was reading and it just said like, when you do X pills, like your brain, it takes 7 years for your brain to get back to the way it used to be before you start doing it. So I'm like, I always been a thinker, right? So I'm sitting there like, and we about to go and do this stuff, right? And it just something clicked from that point, but I didn't stop right away. But when I got to that point where I was like in a real dark place, right? My friend that I had, she was Puerto Rican and black. Her family was Puerto Rican and black. She was from Humboldt Park. She was that positive friend that I had in my life around that time when I was like 15. She was a positive person and she wasn't a judgmental person, and she was really into the Bible. She was really into prayer, right? And at that time, I remember when I first started being around her and her family, she had these other women, like Puerto Rican, they was older than her. They was coming and reading the Bible with her, and right? And they was asking me, at the time, I wasn't really in it like I am now. And but she used to always pray with me, and she used to always like tell me about the Bible and stuff from time to time. And she got me to start praying. So when I got to that point when I was doing them pills and stuff, I was like 22. So I'm like, you know what? I don't have any friends. I'm lonely at this point. I only got a couple people around. Well, I'm used to having a bunch of people around, right? Things is changing. People going to jail, people getting shot, people getting paralyzed, people losing organs, right? I'm depressed. I'm just broken. I'm sad. I'm sorrowful. I'm in a very dark place, right, in my life. Like it was one of the darkest times in my life. So I didn't know what to do. But the only thing that I could remember to do was pray. That's all I knew how to do. I was doing the 5%er thing. I was trying to do that at one point, and I was like, yo, let me be a 5%er, or I'm gonna go this route, or I'm the Egyptian into the Egyptian. None of that stuff was working, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pray. Start praying, right? Most High spoke to me. Boom. He started moving in my life. Things start changing. Stuff start happening, right? So now it's like, okay, now I'm seeing, yo, this is what I need to stop doing, right? But I was still trying to go around like some of the people I used to hang with. And one day I told them, like, look, I'm not popping pills anymore. I was still drinking though, right? I don't do nothing now. I don't drink, smoke, do none of that stuff. Praise to the Most High. Um, and one time they handed me a bottle, it was like a pint of Remy, and I told them, look, I don't do this no more. I drink, I can taste. Anybody that used to do that X stuff, they know it's nasty. I taste it in the drink. I'm like, yo, like, why you ain't tell me this? Oh man, no, that showed me right there. Like, if I'm telling you that I'm not doing this no more, and you give it to me anyway, that showed me right there. Like, I need to move around if I want to elevate. You know what I'm saying? I need to move around. So at that time, I just was like, some people took it personal, and it wasn't nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing personal. That was my journey, and I had to isolate myself and be alone to really grow, like for real. So, and that's what happened, right? And I began to fast. When I began to fast, that's when things begin to change. If you want to be healed and detox from that stuff you used to do, you gotta fast. I'm telling you, you have to. Once you begin to fast and pray, man, everything began to change. My mind, physically, mentally, I was on point. I'm sharp. I'm back to being Daniel. Like, I'm back to being that kid that was confident, that was into sports, that wasn't worried about anything, all this other stuff, wasn't worried about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I was just school, sports, you know what I'm saying, trying to be the best. I'm back to that now, right? The Most High had to get me back to that, to the essence, right, of what it was. And it was the fasting and praying, you know, and you gotta, I know it works, but you gotta do it. And you gotta lock in and block out all the negativity. Like, I blocked out like all the negativity and only fed my mind with positivity, scriptures, anything that's productive, right? Learning all type of stuff, man, reading books, right? Getting healthy, hitting the gym. I was doing it all. And then I lost weight, and then people was looking like, yo, he changed. He lost weight, he different, he act different, right? Most High began to bless me. And that's what it is. I know a lot of the young guys is popping perks and all this stuff. You gotta stop doing that. It's changing you. That's why they going out and they doing dumb stuff. They on cameras, looking like dope fiends, right? And nobody, I gotta be honest, nobody respected the dope fiends. Nobody respected the dope fiends. I don't care what they used to do. It was a lot of people, old Blackstones, right? Some of the old Blackstones from back in the day on the block, like, yo, like, I had bags of cash, man. I had brown paper bags, 100,000 in it. Like, nobody cares. You're on dope. You know what I'm saying? But now you see the youth, now they doing it, right? And it's lame. It doesn't look good. When I saw pictures of myself or how I used to look, I hate looking at them pictures. I'm like, damn, I used to look like this? Why nobody told me? But they was all on the same thing. My mom and them was telling me. They saw that I was changed. They like, boy, you stupid. You out here being goofy. And I'm just like, man, them the guys, right? Nah, it's like you that ain't who you is. I know a lot of my friends, whoever run across this, it's friends that I had personally that I know that they could have played sports. They was always had some money in their pocket, always fly, right? Jogging, working out. Now all of a sudden they drinking, shooting people, popping pills, doing all this goofy stuff. Like, if y'all see this, remember who y'all used to be when we was before that stuff, man. Like I saw this with my own eyes. I saw brothers that was like, they could run track and field, they could do this, they could do that. Academically, like one of the brothers that I came up with that chose to sell drugs and stuff, that I went to grammar school with, right? He probably know who I don't want to say his name. He grew up on 66. He lived on 66 in Blackstone. Man, that brother was the smartest dude in the school. And our age, like, he was the smartest dude. We didn't have to go this, like, when we was in 7th grade, that dude was getting junior, senior scores. Like, why are we going this route? But I get it, the influence of the negativity that was around us. But now if you want to change, you got to first block out the negativity, right? And the drugs, it makes you weak. Pills and lean and all that stuff, man, that stuff make you weak, and you ain't sharp when you do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope y'all got something from this, man. This brother Dan, I'm gonna drop jewels. It's about positivity with me, like, and that's what it is. So I hope y'all got something from it, man. Y'all have a good day.